We are going to engage in a practice of acknowledging the energy of the body and allowing it to flow freely. And we're going to dedicate this practice to connect ourselves to the flows of creativity. We start by allowing ourselves to sense the feet. If you need, just simply adjust to a parallel stance. And simply allowing the knees to bend slightly as if sitting on a high stool. Allowing the ball of the feet to open, the toes to spread. So there's a soft traveling of weight down the legs, through the ankles, onto the feet. The feet are open so they can receive the vibrations of the earth. And then we soften the lower back, connecting sit bones to ankles to heels. And then we bring an image of a golden chain lengthening through the spine. So tailbone sending energy towards the earth and the top of the head lengthening upwards. We're going to start with the practice of Qigong. We start acknowledging the breath. Simply noticing the place of the breath, where the breath is moving, or where the breath moves the body. We're going to notice the breath in the head, the face and the back of the head, noticing the breath in the throat and the back of the neck, noticing breath in the chest, shoulders, and the upper back. Just allowing a sensation that tells us that the breath is there. There's a gentle expansion of that structure of the body and a softening. Noticing breath in the abdomen and in the back. And we're going to localize a point that is just about 2 or 3 fingers below the belly button, and we're going to call that dantian. We're going to bring 2 hands. For the women, we're going to use the right hand and the left on top, and for men, just using the left hand and then the right hand. But you can also choose and play with sensations to see what it tells you, disregarding of gender. I'm going to choose to use right hand and then left, and connecting the palms, so hand, palm, and the other palm over the back of the other hand. And we're going to invite the breath to come lower into the dantian. By simply noticing and bringing an intention, we start noticing that the breath can become deeper and lower in the body. And changing directions, dantian rotations. And back to center. Gathering chi. We allow the arms to come out to the sides. We lengthen the upper body at the same time as we push the earth. We gather the energy of the universe and we bring it into the body, through the body, balancing down with the earth. Just allowing that breath in to expand the body and following the out breath. Allow the movement to be an expression of your breath. Breathing in is opening and breathing out, softening down, traveling through the vertical line of the body. Gathering chi And as we do this movement, we start to allow an intention that comes from the body just to be expressed. So bring in a wish to ground the practice. I suggest to invoke creativity and inspiration to come into the body, but allowing any intentions, whatever your body needs today, to become present, so it's the focus of your practice. Allowing that intention to stay in the back of the mind. And we're going to continue with the Qigong practice, this time the spinal cord breathing from the gathering Qi. We're going to close the body in, allowing the tailbone to gather, round in the back, bringing the elbows towards the dantian, head in. And allow the breath to open the body. With the breath out, we close. With the breath in, we allow the lungs to open the body. We continue with the flow. I'm going to also show this one on the side. So closing and follow the breath in, open in motion. We imagine the body expanding with the breath in and softening. And we're going to allow ourselves to do it with little effort. The legs can do most of the work, and the body is just following the expression of the lungs, softening and expanding. Allowing the spine to breathe, imagining each vertebra as a little lung. With the breath in, all the vertebrae expand. With the breath out, the vertebrae softening. And from closing in, we travel through the wave, allowing the hands just to stay soft and loose. And we're going to extend the body. The wave, we're going to bring the chin to the chest, heavy head, and we're going to allow the body to just become loose. Top of the head to lengthen towards the earth, and then we're going to start to wave up. Just finding chin to chest. And just traveling through the spine, allowing that motion quality of water. Adjust the stance if you need for this one. And again, just soft neck, heavy head, lengthening and rolling through the spine. We're going to bring the thigh quality of seawater, so the thigh is returning to the sea. And this time we're going to push with the hips open, lengthening forward. Head in, push with the hips. Open the throat, lengthening forward. Just check from moment to moment that the arms are super loose, hanging, and then connect that movement from the upper back through the spine. Warming up the spine. This is the spinal cord breathing exercise. And slowly coming back. We're going to start working this time through the hips. And this time just with a wider stance, so thinking about wider than the shoulders, and we're going to start shifting the weight of the body from one side to the other. And as we do that, we're going to allow one heel to peel off from the earth, so the leg is hanging from the hip socket. And we're going to do an exercise that is called drumming. We're going to bring all the attention to the dantian, and as we do that, just notice how the hips turn the body from one side to the other. And we're going to let the arms be so soft, they're going to wrap around the body. That's it. Allowing the hips to be in a horizontal line, shifting weight from one leg to the other without changing the height of the body. We're creating vibrations in the organs and in the internal systems. This time bringing the top hand to tap just on that space on the side of the shoulder. A lower touch in the lungs. And a soft touch in the abdomen, just playing with sensation, tapping the body, drumming the body. This practice is also very good for allowing any stagnant energy to flow. Keep also with your height, so you can go quite low, so strengthening the legs. And we're coming up, tapping the lower abdomen, and up to the chest, and allowing that movement to soften. Coming back to center, we're going to gather chi. Allow the breath in to expand, breath out softening, drawing the vertical line of the body, and we spend just a few moments sensing the vibrations we created. We're going to find the place where those vibrations are more prominent, and like an epicenter of energy, bring the mind to that point, and with the breath out, imagine that energy travels freely through the body like a ripple in water. Breathing into that epicenter of energy. And softly opening the eyes, bringing the legs together. I'm going to start loosening joints. So all the joints allow for the energy to travel freely. We allow softness and weight to travel down to the tip of the fingertips and the tip of the toes. And just coming back to center, nice and loose. Now we're going to go through a practice that is called silk reeling. And this is a practice for centering the mind into motion. So I'll guide you through, and then we're going to spend some time in silence when each of us is practicing together. So simply take a moment to align yourself, bringing the mind to the dantian. And this is called the bamboo stand. So we narrow the base of the body, and we feel the sway, just a natural movement of the body, the center of gravity, gently swaying to different sides. We're going to start together, eyes open, Tai Chi stand. We bend the knees and we step out. Just lengthen the leg out and then pass the weight. Balance the weight so it's distributed in both legs. We're sitting back, the lower back table is pointing towards the earth. We're going to imagine that we are holding a ball. We can think of an energy ball in between the two hands. And the center of the hands are connected. So there's a magnetic force that lengthens from both hands. And we sit that in line with the center of the body. And we're just going to take some time just to soften the hands and to open with a breath in. The legs are getting strengthening practice, and the hands are getting a magnetic training, just awakening magnetic forces in the body. Breath out brings the hands together, and the breath in expanding. Just go as far as you start. You can still feel that magnetic force. So everybody's going to be a different size of a ball. And then going round your ball. This is a preparation for the silk reeling. Feeling the breath in, breath out. Going round the ball, keeping the hands connection. And this time we're going to start with the silk reeling. We're going to bring one hand to the dantian, the other hand just in front of the dantian. And the hand that is in front is following the center of the body, is following the dantian. So simply start with that sense of connection. front hand connected to the center. We're going to start shifting weight to one side, and we're going towards the opposite side of the arm. So this is the arm I'm holding, I'm going towards the opposite side. And then this is position 1. Start turning the hips, opening towards the corner as we rotate the hand, and the palm is resting. That's position 2. We keep spiraling the hand as if we were painting a wall, pelvis shifting weight to the other side. It's like a spiraling motion, as if we were drawing the sign of the infinite with the tailbone. Position 3, rounding the hand, position 4. And we go through those 4 points. Bring it across, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. And we're going to start joining the dots. The entire focus is on moving from the center of the body. Shifting weight, turning, shifting weight, turning. Single hands on the silk reeling practice. We're going to do it for 1 minute, just on your own, allowing the breath to ride on the movement. And anytime you feel the mind goes away from this experience of motion, just bring the hand back to breath, to dantian, just for 1 minute. Coming towards the end of the minute, we're going to bring the hand back to the dantian center, pushing the legs together, and then just shake the legs out. We're going to do single hands on the other side. From bamboo stance, softening knees, stepping out, grounding yourself, bringing this time the other hand to the dantian, other hand in front. Single hands, silk reeling. Deepening that stance. The legs are getting all the body weight, and they're building up strength, while the upper body has to be super loose. So let's work on that. Deepening that stance, and we shift weight, rotating from the dantian, position 1. Bring the hand up, position 2. Bring it across as we continue rotating. Position 4. We join the dots. The simplicity is the challenge of this exercise. It's just about keeping the flow, so there's no beginning, no end, and no disruption of the movement. Notice the breath riding on the movement, and we do it for 1 minute. Coming towards the end of the minute, just finding that connection, dantian to hand. Breath is riding on the movement. Bringing the hand to the center. Push the legs together. And then just softening the stance. Good. And we're going to finish the practice with a standing meditation. Just for a few minutes, just a 5 minutes practice to continue strengthening the body while resting the mind and preparing us for creative practice. So standing in bamboo stance, feeling the lengthening of the body, that energy that comes from the earth, feeling up the entire body, tapping the base of the skull, and coming back down to the earth. Tai Chi stance, bending the knees. We do a high stance, which means that the stance is shoulder width apart. Felt the lengthening of the spine, and we bring the spine to the feet. We want to feel that the ball of the feet are opening, allowing the metatarsus to open and spread. So there's a sense of gravity gently adjusting towards the front of the dantian. And very, very slowly, we're going to allow the arms to float up. And again, a sense of those points in the center of the hands facing to each other. And the fingers are relaxed and curved, and we sit back. And we just stand for 5 minutes, strengthening the mind. So you want to train your mind to come back to this sensation of the body being energized. We notice breath. And when the fatigue comes, just allow tiredness, fatigue to come down to the earth. The earth can take it. We bring the mind to the dantian, breath to the dantian, and we stand for 5 minutes. Anytime you notice thoughts going away from the body, gently open the eyes, notice your environment, noticing the body standing, and bring back your intention of being with the body. Perhaps deepening the standing, so coming a little bit lower if that strengthens the legs and brings more attention to the body. But if you do feel any pain in your knees, just gently push the earth away, come to a higher stance. Training the mind, bringing the mind to the dantian. Allowing the breath to come towards the dantian. If you want to have a way to check how low you should go, it's simply about sensing your center of gravity and feel it from the belly button towards the hip. So the center of gravity is in the lower abdomen. Just nest it on your hips. And that's an indication that your stand is in the right position. Continue bringing the mind to the dantian and allowing the abdomen to expand with breath in and soften with breath out. We are nearly there, coming towards the last minute. Slowly, as we come towards the end, bringing the hands down, bringing the feet together, and shake the legs, shake the hands, just any tension build up, let it go. And we're going to finish the practice of Qigong with a gathering Qi. So wide stance with the breath in expanding, gathering the energy of the universe, and just bring it towards your body. Allowing the intention you had at the start of your practice to come to the front of the mind. And bringing that sense of creativity to come to your body, preparing yourself for creation. And just that last one, bringing the feet together. We put the feet together and we bring a hand, we close the fist, the other hand, and this is just the end of the practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me.